Good Erev Shabbos, Parshas Ki Savo. This week's Sedra contains within it the many brachas and the klalas, the very long list of blessings and curses. I don't want to focus on the curses. This year we've had, unfortunately, too many klalas facing humanity and Klal Yisrael in particular as well. And we wish, Tichla Shana V'Kila Lo Seha, may this year and its curses be gone. Techel Shana Ubircho Seha, let the new year and all its blessings come forth upon us, Bekarov Mamish, Bekarov B'Yameinu. I want to focus on one of the brachas. Baruch atah ba'ir u'baruch atah basadeh. Blessed are you in the city, and blessed are you in the field. And there is a litany of other brachas. Blessed are you when you go, and you come when you go. Is this simply a literary flourish? Shouldn't the Torah simply have said, may you be blessed wherever you are? That would be a more economical use of words. And the Medrash picks up on this, and the Medrash suggests that this is not simple literary flourish, but there is meaning behind this detailed account of the bracha. Baruch atah ba'ir, Rabbi Yitzchak says, in the city, b'schar hamitzvot she'ata oseh ba'ir, in the merit of the mitzvahs that you will do in the city, you will be blessed. Baruch atah basadeh, in the merit of the mitzvahs that you will do in the field, you will be blessed. And he gives us a list. What are the mitzvahs of the city? What are the mitzvahs of the field? The mitzvahs of the city are, in fact, tzitzis, sukkah, challah, and ner Shabbos. Are these, in fact, limited to city life? Sukkah is limited to city life? And yet Rabbi Yitzchak says these are the mitzvahs of the city. Baruch atah basadeh, what are the mitzvahs of the field? Well, these perhaps are a little bit more intuitive. Leket, shichecha, and peah. These are gifts that the farmer provides from his farm, from his field, to the poor people around him. Leket, shichecha, and peah. But are these the only mitzvahs of the field? Can one not do tzedakah in the city? And can one not do sukkah in the field? Can one only do tzitzis in the city and not do tzitzis in the field? What is the meaning that Rabbi Yitzchak is intending for us to provide us here? Baruch atah ba'ir, baruch atah basadeh. If you look at the, there's a theme that emerges from this collection of mitzvahs. The mitzvahs of the city are tzitzis, which give us a God consciousness. A person is meant to look at the blue of the tzitzis, which reminds them of the blue of the heavens, of the heavenly throne, and of God himself, of the Shekhinah herself. And so these mitzvahs are mitzvahs of creating a divine awareness, a consciousness and awareness of Hashem in our lives. And that's true for sukkah as well. Sukkah, we are meant to sit in the sukkah and remind ourselves of our human frailty and our dependency on the Ribbono Shel Olam. Challah, where we take off a piece of the dough and give it to the Kohen, the representative, as it were, of Hashem, the Beis Hamikdash, and all of and also creating a God consciousness in our physical lives. We rip off some of the dough, the sustenance of life, and we give it to the Kohen. And then, of course, Ner Shabbos. Shabbos is, of course, about remembering Hashem. But it's not just Shabbos, it's Ner Shabbos, it's the candle, it's the light of Shabbos. A person most certainly can engage 25 hours of Shabbos and not have any God consciousness at all. We can go to Kiddush, we can sleep, we can eat, we can enjoy friends or family without any God consciousness. It's the Ner Shabbos, it's the light of Shabbos, the Ner, which is a metaphor in Chazal of the Torah, a metaphor for the neshama of a person. So all of these mitzvahs of the city are about creating a God consciousness. Because in a city, there's a hustle and bustle of life. We're confronting people all the time, but there's a hustle and bustle. We're constantly juggling and jostling life and juggling our work responsibilities, our family responsibilities, our community responsibilities, our responsibilities to those around us. A city is a high energy place where there is a lot and sometimes even overwhelming demands on us. And in this environment, it is easy to be aware of what the needs of our neighbors. And if we're a little menschlich, we'll actually act on those needs. But it is far more difficult or more challenging to have a God consciousness and awareness of Hashem. That can sometimes get lost. It is easy for us in the high energy, demanding life of a city to lose our spiritual center, our spiritual anchor, and forget about the Ribbono Shel Olam. People are in our face all the time. And with a little menschlichkeit, will be sensitive to their needs. And so therefore, out in the city, the mitzvahs of the city that will bring us merits to complete our picture are mitzvahs that will give us God consciousness. However, out in the field, a person who's a farmer is naturally, or more naturally, reliant on Hashem for rain, for optimal weather conditions so the crops can grow. A person can feel connected to nature and connected to Hashem, seeing a beautiful sunrise, a beautiful sunset. Sometimes it's even hard to see the sun in a city, certainly in a modern city. And the majesty of partnering with Hashem to push a stalk of grain out of the ground. There is an extraordinary opportunity for an awareness of Hashem. But on the other hand, a farmer out in the field can be isolated from their neighbor. Easy to forget the pain and suffering of others, as we are alone with God, struggling to push food out of the ground. And therefore, out in the field, we need a humanity consciousness, not a God consciousness. We need to be reminded of the suffering, of the pain, of the needs of other people, that there is a society around us, even if we are somewhat disconnected from it in our holy work of bringing food out of the ground. So therefore, Baruch atah ba'ir, blessed are you in the city. If you create a God consciousness to complement your natural awareness of the suffering of those around us and the needs of around us, you are blessed. Baruch atah basadeh, if you create a consciousness of the needs of our neighbors, which is more difficult, to complement what is more natural for us out in the field, to have a God awareness, then Baruch atah, then you will be blessed as well. Ironically, tragically, we have many of us been physically in the city, but experientially, for many of us and for many months, in the field, disconnected and alone. In that time, we may have forgotten somewhat our connection to community, our connection to those outside of our immediate orbit. Many of us have in fact already been safely transitioning back to normal life, shopping in stores in a safe way, going to work in a safe way, sending our kids to school, or some of us about to send our kids to school. Yet, for some of us, even if we are doing all that as we transition back into life, we have yet to return to shul, to our kehillah, to our community, where city and field, God and humankind unite. There is no field without the city, and there is no city without the field. The farmer depends on the city folk for his livelihood. There is no city without the field, because the city folk need that connection to Hashem to keep us spiritually grounded, morally upright, to lead a powerful, deep, and meaningful, and joyous, and content and happy existence. The city needs the field, and the field needs the city. Baruch atah ba'ir, u'baruch atah basadeh. So to those of us who have been absent from shul, but somehow have been able to transition somewhat back to normal life in other ways, I invite you back to shul to re-engage our community in a safe and healthy way. Kingsway is back. Not exactly, not 100%, not the way we ultimately want it to be, but we are back. Many of us are back from our summer excursions. And shul life is still in transition, but we need each other. There is no kehillah if there is no people. We have to recreate and rebind ourselves to the city and the field, to garner the blessings of CityField, not just the miracle Mets, to garner the blessings of the Ir and the Sadeh. We need not only a God consciousness, we need a consciousness of community and our neighbor. And in what better place to do that than in the place that binds all that together, the Ir and the Sadeh, right here in our very own shul. Baruch atah ba'ir, Baruch atah basadeh. I invite us all, for those of us who feel comfortable re-engaging life in a safe and healthy way, to come back to shul, to make our minyanim, to start coming to the shiurim as we begin our fall program here in Shul, and as we re-engage together, Be'ezras Hashem, to transition back to a normal, hopefully new normal, a good normal, a healthy life, one in which we will garner the brachas of the Ribono Shel Olam for general good health, specific a remedy for the corona, and God willing, blessings for all of us for success and happiness in our families and our community. Good Shabbos.